Herkimer County.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a bit of a drizzle out there this morning.
Yeah, a light drizzle, but something that was more noticeable was the lack of humidity.
Yeah, from yesterday.
It was not nearly as tacky as yesterday morning, and we'll see that throughout the day today, a lowered humidity trend. But yeah, that drizzle this morning drying out a little bit. But as we take a live look at downtown Utica right now from the Nexus Center camera, you can see, of course, we're still dealing with some morning clouds, not morning sunshine, and this is from a system south of us. Now, on the radar, there's a lot of interference, but when I turn on the time lapse, you can somewhat see the light drizzle taking place, those slightly darker colors moving through mainly Herkimer County. In fact, zooming in, those of you in Salisbury, Little Falls, Newport, you might be seeing a light drizzle out there early this morning. Besides that, though, temperatures are starting out in the low 60s, so around 10 or so degrees cooler than yesterday morning. And another thing as well, those dew points also a lot lower. We're talking about a not so humid start to the day. Now, this morning, we'll see clouds give way to some peaks of sunshine. Clouds are remaining stubborn throughout the day, so this won't be a completely sunny day. But on top of that, temperatures only remaining into the mid-70s. We're tracking a few showers arriving overnight tonight. Maybe a nice day tomorrow. We'll see how those clouds persist, but we'll talk about that Labor Day weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Little Falls police are looking for a
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning. Welcome back. The time now is 5:10, and we're getting you set to head out the door this morning on the Munson Commute Cast. And first off, let's take a live look at the arterial right now in downtown Utica, where, again, it's early in the morning. Conditions are relatively quiet. Traffic is low, and for now, aside from a light drizzle, no impacts expected to your early morning commute. And same thing regarding any incidents to report. There are no accidents on our traffic tracker right now. And there are still, of course, the road closures. Route 28 closed until next Monday for Labor Day, as well as lane closures overnight in some other spots. For a full list of the road work being done that is not involving road closures, you can head to our website, WKTV.com. It includes locations regarding every county here locally in central New York. But again, this morning, some lingering patchy light drizzle and mostly cloudy skies. We'll see some peaks of sunshine throughout the morning and afternoon, but clouds do remain pretty stubborn throughout the day. But temperatures will rise from the 60s this morning up into the 70s by this afternoon with, again, that noticeable drop in that humidity. It won't be nearly as humid as yesterday. It will slowly start to creep back up again this evening, but again, nowhere near the tropical levels that we've seen in days past. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Clinton Cider Mill has been a
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Today starting out less humid and still a bit cloudy out there. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica right now. The overcast skies are still noticeable, and those temperatures roughly 10 degrees cooler than yesterday morning, and same thing with the dew point, around 10 degrees lower. So it's a cooler and more refreshing start to your day today. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Lots of interference indicated by that light green. But again, we're monitoring passage of some light drizzle, especially in the Newport, Salisbury, German Flats area of Herkimer County, just north of Ilion and in Herkimer at this point. So again, it's not an entirely dry morning. But as we head throughout the day, we'll go from the low 60s up into the mid 70s by the afternoon. So not too bad of a day. In fact, very pleasant, comfortable temperatures as dew points remain still in the mid 50s, maybe upper 50s by the evening. So not too bad. And regarding rainfall chances, again, we got some lingering patchy drizzle this morning, but most of the day is looking almost entirely dry. Now, we have the chance of seeing some overnight rain showers heading into early Friday morning. Those rain showers do diminish and will dry out by Friday afternoon before our next chance of more notable rain showers arrive heading into Saturday. And regarding that humidity, again, it's low this morning. It'll increase throughout the day today, but still not too bad. Same thing for tomorrow. Noticeable humidity, not too bad. The humidity starts to ramp up again as we head into Saturday with dew points in the upper 60s, similar to how the air felt yesterday morning. So if you remember how that felt, that's how Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon is going to be feeling. And so we've got this cold front pushing south this morning, and we're monitoring this trough. It's not very well modeled by the numerical systems in our forecast systems right now. And so the northernmost extent of these clouds and showers are still up in the air depending on how strong this high pressure is. But for now, I still think that most of the daytime here today remains dry, and then the passage of a few overnight rain showers occurs as this wobbles north. The more confident part of the forecast is that cold front arriving heading into Saturday. This is still very well modeled, and we'll see this arrive throughout the afternoon on Saturday. So again, rain showers primarily during the overnight hours tonight. As you can see here in our Skycast, dry for most of the daytime today. Temperatures in the 70s. Then overnight into early tomorrow, we'll see the arrival of a few light sprinkles, then dry for Friday afternoon. And then heading into Saturday, we'll start out with temperatures in the 60s and then the passage of some showers and storms. And so your 7-day forecast following Saturday, we got a nice day Sunday, rain showers possibly overnight, and then Labor Day, cooler, sunny, setting the stage for a beautiful week next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. This morning, more on the growing
29th, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And if you head outside this morning, not quite as balmy as yesterday morning, that's for sure.
Yeah, feeling a lot more like a typical late August day, late August start with 60s, lower humidity. Still some light drizzle out there early this morning as well, but we'll dry out throughout the afternoon. Let's take a look outside this morning from our Nexus Center camera. We're seeing still a cloudy start to the day, so no widespread sunshine across central New York early this morning. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A lot of interference, that light green right there, but as we zoom into Herkimer County, we are seeing the arrival of just some light drizzle. You see it by that darker green indicated right there. So again, this is a temporary thing. Will dry out throughout the morning and part of the afternoon. How about that though? Up in Saranac Lake, where the skies are clear, 44 degrees. So a huge decrease as you go from Saranac Lake to the Mohawk Valley, with of course lower humidity across the board. Next 12 hours, we'll be seeing mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine, and comfortable temperatures in the low to mid 70s. We'll of course talk about how this weather shapes up as we head into tomorrow and eventually Labor Day weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Now, with less than 7 of estimate and contract, will take up an unpleasant but necessary task. There's legislation before them to give the mayor authorization to put out a bid to demolish the tornado-damaged former St. Mary's Church on West Liberty Street. The church was built back in 1875, but the mayor says because of the tornado damage, it's now one of the most unsafe structures in the city, and that block can't be blocked off forever. He says with the building goes a lot of history.
And several people, I mean, they were married there. They got their first communion there. Their families have been there for X amount of years. So it's devastating to see that has to come down.
Kabari Wellness owns the building, and the mayor says once some proposals do come back and they get an idea of what it'll cost to demolish it, the city will continue to work with Kabari Wellness to make that happen. Governor Hochul announced a record-setting year for tourism in New York State in 2023 with a historic 306 million visitors. Now, $137 billion in total economic impact was observed across the state, compiled by research from Tourism Economics. More locally in central New York, visitor and tourist spending rose $5.1 billion, a 6% increase compared to 2022. And a reminder this morning, you could win $100,000 by making a donation.
Welcome back to News Channel 2 at sunrise. We are showing our photo of the day this morning, and this one caught my eye, and this I hope you find just as adorable as I found it adorable. Look at this photo here. It's taken in Baldwinsville of a mink. The photographer said that they were able to capture it when he stood still for just a second, and just an adorable photo right there. But we have other animal photos that we're going to be sharing too as well throughout the next several days, next week or so. There's so many photos I want to get through, and I figured I would start your morning today with a photo again of this mink in Baldwinsville. So if you would like to submit a photo like this one to potentially brighten maybe someone's day, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics for the chance to have your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Now this morning, it's a cooler start compared to yesterday. Temperatures in the 60s and 50s. Outlying areas up in the Adirondack High Peaks region already falling into the 40s. Now, this morning we're in the 60s. We'll climb to the mid-70s by this afternoon. So that's about as warm as we're going to get today. Similar high temperatures to yesterday, but with that lack of humidity. That'll be the key factor here today. Now, following today, we'll see a slight increase in humidity as we head into the weekend. We'll, of course, talk about that, plus those rain chances in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Turning Stone is celebrating the 25th anniversary.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. This Thursday is starting out. It's a little less humid and a little cooler than yesterday morning. In fact, current temperature Oneonta sitting at 57 degrees with some clouds out in the distance, and I would not be shocked if there was some patchy drizzle falling from those clouds as well. Now, it's mainly cloudy in Rome and in Utica, with the temperatures a little warmer at 60 degrees. Dew point, again, lower than yesterday, so not nearly as muggy across central New York. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Again, we're watching the arrival of a few spotty, drizzly showers here and there, but that's really about it with rainfall during the morning hours today. We'll climb from the 60s into the low to mid 70s this afternoon, with humidity levels remaining on the low side throughout the entire day today, then picking up a little bit as we head into the evening. Regarding rainfall chances, again, besides that light drizzle, things are looking relatively dry for this morning, this afternoon, and the early part of this evening. That's when we'll start to see the potential for a shower move in from the south and from the west. Those rain chances do decrease heading into Friday morning, and then our best shot for rain showers arrive as we head into Saturday. Well, how about that humidity? Well, it's still a low, at least lower humidity this morning. It will start to rise as we head throughout the late morning, early afternoon, but not by much. Dew points upper 50s, low 60s. That's just a slightly muggy feel to the air, and this will continue as we head into Friday as well. But as we approach Saturday, that's when the humidity really starts to ramp up, and it'll feel somewhat to what the morning felt like yesterday. In fact, pretty much the entire day yesterday felt with dew points in the upper 60s. And so that cold front has swept south. There's high pressure currently over the New England coast right now. However, there's going to be another battle taking place in the atmosphere. This trough is extending north and east, encountering this high pressure, and there's still some uncertainty as to how this plays out. Our thoughts are that high pressure wins out, and these showers relatively remain south of our area for the evening hours today, but I do think that the trough will win out overnight tonight, and we'll see just a few spotty showers heading into very early Friday morning. But the more confident part of the forecast, obviously, is this cold front arriving from the west heading into Saturday. And so, quick on our Skycast, clouds this morning give way to still some stubborn clouds this afternoon. Temperatures in the 70s with lower humidity. Then by tonight, lows fall only into the low 60s with a chance of an isolated shower as that trough moves north and east. And then we'll start to see a dry start for Friday, returning to maybe an isolated shower heading into Friday evening, Friday night. And so your 7-day forecast, Saturday the rainiest the next few days, Sunday dry, rain showers arriving Sunday night. Then Labor Day, it's cooler but dry and sets the stage for a comfortable week next week.
We're on with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And it felt a little like being on the Maid of the Mist this morning as that little drizzle came down, didn't it?
Yeah, just a faint mist on the windshield, enough to turn your wiper on for a few seconds, then of course it's dry again. But the one thing too, it's also less humid than yesterday morning. I know it felt like South Florida.
Yeah, yesterday.
Now it feels more like a New York August morning. Let's take a look outside right now where we are seeing, of course, overcast skies once more. And although it's not getting picked up too clearly on cameras and radar and everything, it is lightly misting in some spots. In fact, taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, zooming in, especially into Herkimer County, we're seeing this faint signal of dark greens. That is not quite the noise that we're seeing with the light green, indicating there is some light mist taking place now primarily in Oneida County, heading into Rome, Trenton, and parts of northern Utica at this point. So again, this morning not entirely dry. Now we are tracking a few clouds, temperatures in the low 60s, 43 up in Saranac Lake, and a difference in humidity to start your day today compared to yesterday with dew points in the upper 50s. Now, next 12 hours, temperatures climbing into the low to mid 70s. Clouds remaining rather stubborn today. We will likely get a glimpse of sun here and there, but the day remains mainly dry. As we head throughout the overnight hours tonight, we could see a shower, and we'll talk about those rain chances as we head into Labor Day weekend in that forecast in the minutes ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Little Falls police are looking for a person of
Good morning. Welcome back. The time now is 6:11. We're getting you set to head out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. First off, let's take a live look at the traffic camera network. First, along the arterial, we were seeing, of course, mainly quiet conditions. No patchy, dense fog, and of course, on top of that, temperatures in the 60s with lowered humidity. And across central New York on the traffic tracker network right now, again, no accidents to report of. There are still those road closures, first on Route 28. That's set to remain closed until next Monday. And other road work locations, which you can find the full list of on our website, WKTV.com. Now, this morning, temperatures starting out in the 60s with low humidity, a few lingering clouds. These clouds remain persistent and stubborn throughout the morning and afternoon, but mainly dry weather is expected with highs approaching the low to mid 70s. Gary?
Thanks. The Clinton Cider Mill has been awarded 300.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. We're starting out the day with cloudy skies, areas of light drizzle, but less humid than yesterday, which is the main thing you'll probably notice walking out the door this morning. Current temperature 57 in Oneonta, and in Utica Rome area 62 degrees with a dew point of 57. So again, that slightly muggy feel in the air is much less humid compared to the near tropical levels we saw yesterday morning, which almost felt like a South Florida start to the day yesterday. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're watching the passing of just some light drizzle here in parts of Oneida and Herkimer counties, north of Whitestown, Trenton, Newport, south of Salisbury along Route 169, heading just north of German Flats in the Herkimer area. And Besides this morning drizzle, that's really about it with rainfall potential during the daytime hours today. And I'll explain why we're cutting it close with rainfall. Temperatures climb into the 70s this afternoon with humidity levels remaining on the low side. Low to mid 50s this morning, into the upper 50s by this afternoon. Rainfall potential again, low during the daytime. Overnight, potential starts to pick up a little bit. Then we'll dry out throughout the day Friday, and then our best shot for rain arrives on Saturday. Humidity levels noticeable but low today. Same thing for tomorrow. However, as we head into Saturday, that's when that dew point temperature rises to as high as the upper 60s, near 70 degrees. That's when we'll start to feel that muggy feeling like what we felt yesterday. That's in store for us on Saturday. And so let's take a look at this complicated forecast with the bigger picture here. That cold front has swept south. Now, we've got a battle going on right now with this trough extending north and this high pressure out near New England. And our thoughts are that high pressure wins out during the daytime. These showers are trying to push north. They're going to fall apart. But as we head into the overnight hours, I think this trough will strengthen enough to produce maybe a shower or two overnight tonight. And regardless of the uncertainty for the rain showers in the next 24 hours, there is certainty with that rain arriving heading into Saturday. Pretty notable cold front sweeping through the area. And so in our Skycast, stubborn clouds today, temperatures in the 70s. As we head into the overnight hours, we'll see the arrival of that trough, producing maybe a light brief shower or sprinkle. And then tomorrow, mainly dry. Tomorrow evening, potentially another chance of a sprinkle as well. And then heading into Saturday, best shot for rain over the next few days. Drying out on Sunday during the daytime hours. And then as we head to the overnight, a few more showers rolling through. Drying out for the daytime on Labor Day. It's going to be a cooler one with highs in the upper 60s, but that sets the stage for a great stretch of weather as we head into the first few days of September. Gary?
Eric, thanks. This morning, more on the growing
2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Thursday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And as I said earlier, it felt like I was in Niagara Falls this morning with the Maid of the Mist. You know that light little mist?
Yes. Yeah, you're right next to a waterfall. You feel it hitting your face. That's exactly what that mist was this morning. Just light enough to let you know it's raining, but not enough to really impact it too much. But on top of that, it's also a cooler morning today. Let's take a look outside right now because there are still some stubborn clouds in downtown Utica. And temperatures this morning in the 50s and in some spots actually in the low 60s at this point. And I'll show those temperatures in just a second. But first, let's take a look at the radar right now where we're still seeing that light mist passing through some parts of central New York. It's a bit difficult to pinpoint it right now with all the interference on the radar at this point. Also, you're probably noticing that there are a few spots of circles here popping up. Those are birds coming off their nests and where they're perched and flying out. And you can actually detect that on the radar, not just rain in the atmosphere. You can also detect bugs as well. A lot of different things you can detect with just the radar, which is actually pretty interesting. 62 in Rome, 61 Hamilton, 43 degrees up in Saranac Lake, and low humidity this morning as well. And that's the main story today. Lower humidity, comfortable conditions, and temperatures in the 70s by this afternoon with just some stubborn clouds throughout the daytime today. You'll still see opportunity for sunshine, but those clouds will try the best that are obstructive of the viewing of the sun this afternoon. Following today, we'll talk about those rain chances heading into tonight as well as for the Labor Day weekend in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. With less than 70 days, Rome's Board of Estimate and Contract will take up an unpleasant but necessary task. There's legislation now before them to give the mayor authorization to put out for a bid to demolish the tornado-damaged former St. Mary's Church building on West Liberty Street. The church was built way back in 1875, but as you can see, suffered major damage during July's tornado. The mayor says because of the extensive damage, it's now one of the most unsafe structures in the city, and that entire block can't be blocked off forever. He says with the building goes a lot of history.
And several people, I mean, they were married there. They got their first communion there. Their families have been there for X amount of years. So it's devastating to see that has to come down.
Kabari Wellness actually owns the building right now, and the mayor says once proposals come back and they get an idea of what it will cost to demolish it, the city will then work with Kabari Wellness to make that happen. Governor Hochul announced on Wednesday it has been a record-setting year for tourism in New York State in the past year, with a historic 306 million visitors. Also, $137 billion in total economic impact was observed across the state, and this was all compiled by research done by Tourism Economics. And locally, here in central New York, visitor and tourist spending rose $5.1 billion, a 6% increase compared to 2022. Meanwhile, the highest increases in visitor spending percentage was in the New York City, Long Island area, which saw about a 12% increase. Right now, we are going to take you live.
Welcome back on this Thursday morning here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. We're taking a look at our photo of the day on this segment, and this one is a photo that I saw in the submissions and I just had to share. This is a combination with a few other adorable photos in our submissions I want to get to regarding some local animals, but just take a look at this adorable mink here in Baldwinsville. This was taken, the viewer said they ran up and froze just for a second, enough to capture this quick photo here. Amazing photo. If you would like to submit one like this one to potentially brighten someone's day, make someone potentially say, "Aw," like you just did for me, send it to the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Well, this morning, temperatures cooler than yesterday morning. Currently in the 60s and 50s. And on top of that, too, also lower humidity. So heading out the door this morning, aside from those cooler temperatures, you could run into some light drizzle. We're tracking a little bit of it on the radar right now, but regardless, temperatures go from the 60s and 50s this morning up into the mid-70s by this afternoon. Gary?
Thanks. Turning Stone will celebrate the 25th anniversary of its poker room next month, and they're hoping
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning. Compared to yesterday, it seems less humid, also a cooler start to the day, but it's still cloudy out there. In fact, a live look in Oneonta right now. The temperature sitting at 55 degrees with overcast skies and some locations seeing some very light patchy drizzle and sprinkles. But cloudy skies officially at Griffith and Rome, dew point of 57, so again, a less humid start to your day today. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Again, these patches of light green indicating potentially some areas of light drizzle in some parts of the region. Most of the area in the Trenton, Newport, Whitestown region looks like rain showers or light sprinkles have tapered off, but still is a little bit more to the east. And throughout the day today, temperatures starting out in the 60s, climbing to the low to mid 70s by this afternoon, with again that humidity remaining on the lower side. It will climb a little bit as we head throughout the afternoon, but noticeable, not too high. Rain chances, again, aside from that early morning sprinkle and drizzle, remains low until the overnight hours tonight. I'll explain the reason why coming up in just a second, but we'll see a decrease in rainfall potential throughout the day Friday, maybe a slight increase Friday evening, and then a better shot for rain as we head into the daytime hours on Saturday. Again, humidity levels low today, picking up a little bit this evening. Same thing for tomorrow, but not too bad. The real humidity starts to move in as we head into Saturday, and you can think of the levels of humidity similar to yesterday with those dew points in the upper 60s near 70 degrees, a very tacky feel to the air. Along with that, too, the arrival of some scattered showers and storms. And so the larger scale picture, that cold front that dropped the humidity for this morning already passed through, so we're south. However, we've got a very difficult forecast right here. We got high pressure out near Maine and this trough, that dashed black line right there extending north. And our thoughts are that the sinking air with high pressure wins this battle here and the rain stays south. But I think the high pressure weakens overnight, and that's when there's a better shot for rain showers. So again, close call for rain today, but of course better shot for rain will be from this weekend as that cold front moves through. And so in our Skycast, with that in mind, it's a quiet day today, few stubborn clouds, raining mainly dry until the overnight hours when the trough winds out, and we'll see that a few light sprinkles heading into early Friday morning. Friday itself, still clouds looking a little stubborn, temperatures in the 70s, and then again, maybe some light sprinkles heading into Friday evening with a better shot for rain heading into Saturday itself. Following Saturday, Sunday during the daytime looks dry. Still a chance for showers and maybe some storms rolling through Sunday night and into Monday from another cold front, which will cool things down for Labor Day with highs in the 60s, setting the stage for a great stretch of weather for next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The time right now, 6:53. Still ahead on Sunrise, a Herkimer County.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And get ready, when you head out this morning, it won't feel like Florida, right?
Yeah, no Florida start today. Almost like a late August start for central New York with clouds, temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and some light drizzle driving out there this morning. Noticed it on the windshield. Taking a look outside right now in downtown Utica, where we are seeing persistent clouds early this morning. Now, we could see a peak of sunshine here and there, but the main story today will be the lowered humidity, as well as early this morning. We're taking a look at the radar, and we're seeing some areas of patchy light drizzle. Matter of fact, one zone right here moving through parts of Salisbury and Stratford. And on our, at least on the Mesnet cameras, we're seeing some locations of some light drizzle moving through the areas, especially heading into the southern valleys as well. Now, temperatures are starting out in the 60s in the central New York area. Dew points in the 50s, so a comfortable start to the day today. And the next 12 hours, temperatures climb into the low to mid 70s as humidity remains noticeable but low and looking relatively dry. However, we have a better shot of seeing rain showers heading into this evening and tonight. Matter of fact, I should specify tonight and early tomorrow morning. And then following that, we'll talk about those rainfall chances for Labor Day weekend in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Little Falls Police say Rome's Board of Estimate and Contract will take up an unpleasant but necessary task. There's legislation now before them to give the mayor authorization to put out for bids a demolishment of the tornado-damaged former St. Mary's Church building on West Liberty Street. The church was built way back in 1875, but now the damage is just too much to be repaired. Now, the mayor says because of the extensive damage, it's now one of the most unsafe structures in the city, and that block right there around the church can't be blocked off forever. He says with the building, though, comes a lot of history.
And several people, I mean, they were married there. They got their first communion there. Their families have been there for X amount of years. So it's devastating to see that has to come down.
Kabari Wellness now owns the building, and the mayor says once proposals come back and they get an idea of what it will cost to demolish it, the city will work with Kabari Wellness to make the demolishment happen. Now to a developing story in northern Herkimer County. The Old Fort.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. Just a few days left of August, believe it or not, and today feeling a bit less humid and warm compared to yesterday morning. Current temperature sitting at 57 degrees, Oneonta. Few clouds, same thing in Griffiths and Rome. 62 cloudy, cooler than yesterday, and also less humid. Radar right now picking up on a few patches of light drizzle and sprinkles moving through the area. So not entirely dry this morning, but the rainfall is not impacting anyone all too much, aside from maybe turning on your windshield wiper here and there and maybe lightly misting your clothes and hair. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 70s this afternoon with low humidity initially, picking up a little bit, but still remaining not too bad. Still lower than average for summertime standards. And regarding rainfall, again, aside from some patchy light drizzle, no impactful rain for today. Best shot for rain arrives tonight. And as we head into the overnight hours, we'll see decreasing chances by tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow evening, potentially another shot for rain. Now, humidity levels on the low side today, same thing for tomorrow, but it really starts to ramp up as we head into Saturday for the start of Labor Day weekend. That's when we'll see dew points in the upper 60s, near 70 degrees, similar to the weather we saw yesterday with that tacky feeling in the air. And as we take a look at the bigger picture, we've got high pressure out near Maine and that front that brought down that humidity south of us. Now, it's going to wobble back and forth. Matter of fact, this low pressure forms a trough, extended area of low pressure up in the atmosphere, heading as far north as our area. And this is the complicated part of the forecast. A battle between the sinking air and rising air, and which one will win. Our thoughts are that the high pressure out to the east wins out, and the daytime today remains mainly dry. Not so much the case for the overnight hours. We think the trough might win out there, and we'll see clouds and some light sprinkles and drizzle. But the more confident part of the forecast is going to be that widespread on and off rain heading into Saturday. And so quickly on our Skycast, clouds this morning, temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Still stubborn clouds by this afternoon, this evening, but again, humidity remaining low. And then as we head into the overnight hours, we could see a chance of a light shower. And so your 7-day forecast, best shot for rain Saturday. Then we dry out on Sunday, overnight rain showers into early Monday morning. Then Labor Day itself looking cooler and dry. And that continues into the middle of next week.
And Eric, if you have to dig today definitely a good day to do it. Not a bad day out there.
Yeah, not too bad. We got a few clouds, but overall mainly dry conditions. Low humidity, that main factor. Yesterday it was very tacky out. Today, almost the opposite. In fact, let's take a live look outside right now. Downtown Utica. Notice out in the distance, there are clouds, but some peaks of blue skies. We are on the fringe of a battle going on in the atmosphere. I'll talk about that in a lot more detail coming up in my full forecast. But the radar right now is quiet. Still some locations potentially seeing some patchy drizzle, especially in areas south where most of those clouds are still persistent at this point. As you head north, there's a lot more regarding sunshine. Matter of fact, you can see it right here. Lots of clouds here in central New York. North Country up near Saranac Lake and Glens Falls, we've got plenty of sunshine. But temperatures are still sitting in the 70s right now. Low humidity. Humidity is high to the south. It will stay to the south for the afternoon, evening, overnight, and into tomorrow, although it rises just slightly. But the big raising in the humidity will be as we head into the start of Labor Day weekend. So again, next 12 hours, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures into the upper or at least low to mid 70s. We are tracking the potential for rain showers in the next few days, but will it be a washout? We'll talk about that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Brand new this noon, Verona Beach State.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Lanigan, Mayor of the City of Rome, New York. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our residents, our organizations, our businesses, and our elected officials, and most importantly, our employees of the City of Rome, New York. The way you all came together and started rebuilding this community was both inspiring and remarkable to watch. I would also like to thank all of our surrounding neighbors and communities for lending a helping hand. We truly pulled together as a region. Once again, thank you for your resilience and support. We are committed to rebuilding our community, and together we will build back stronger.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are tracking a few clouds and even some peaks of sunshine this afternoon with quiet conditions and less humid conditions compared to yesterday. Let's take a live look at Oneonta right now. The current temperature down there is sitting at 64 degrees, but as we head north to Old Forge, we've got some sunshine and warmer temperatures in the upper 60s. So we have a battle going on right now across central New York with clouds and sunshine, and you can see here downtown Utica, still a few passing clouds and mostly cloudy skies and lower humidity. Dew point sitting at 56 degrees. Now, the radar is mainly quiet at this point, zooming out to the south where we are seeing just a few spotty showers here and there. The rainfall activity is not too high. The rain at this point, if it does fall in some of these locations, there's producing some patchy light rain showers and drizzle. But as we head into the next few days, of course, Labor Day weekend, all important forecast. If you have any plans for the weekend. And again, for now, the Saturday coming up looks to be the rainiest of the next few days. High temperature of 74 degrees. Rainfall ends, sunshine moves in on Sunday with high temperatures in the upper 70s, and then a cold front moves through as we head into Sunday evening, Sunday night. That'll bring cooler temperatures with lots of sunshine for Labor Day itself. So, larger scale side of things, here's that battle taking place. High pressure to the northeast, low pressure to the southwest. There's a battle right here with the clouds trying their best to move north, and then of course it's encountering sinking air north and east, causing those clouds to fall apart. So the uncertainty lies with how much unsettled conditions or rain showers we get as we head into the next 24 hours. But again, that cold front moves through, and we'll see temperatures cool down temporarily for the weekend. You can see here clouds moving through the area this afternoon, sunshine peeking in for this evening. Your 7-day forecast, we've got showers and storms heading into Saturday with sunshine moving in as we approach the middle of next week, an extended period of sunshine. Gary?
Eric, thanks. With less than 70 days until Election Day, Welcome back. Israeli operations in the West Bank are continuing for a second day today, the biggest raids in 2 decades. NBC's Matt Bradley has more this noon from Tel Aviv.
Well, that IDF operation in the occupied West Bank is still ongoing today, and it looks like it could continue for a while. The IDF has already described this as the first phase of what is increasingly looking like a fresh theater of war in its ongoing fight against militant groups. Now, even as we're saying, that death toll from the West Bank is still climbing. It has already reached 17, with dozens of injuries and several arrests. Again, all of those casualty figures are going to continue to climb as we're starting to see more and more operations, all of them focused really in the northern part of the West Bank, really in 3 areas, mostly 2 cities, Jenin and Tulkarm in the northern West Bank, but also the Al-Farah refugee camp, which is nearby, or sort of in the eastern part of the northern West Bank. Now, these operations are involving airstrikes. That's how they started overnight. More than 24 hours ago. And now we're seeing columns of troops and earth movers that have been digging into streets, trying to dig up IEDs or sort of booby traps underneath roads. And now we heard from Israel Katz, as well as several other leaders in Israeli officialdom, saying that it is Iran that is fueling this. And of course, Hamas in the Gaza Strip, Hezbollah north in Lebanon. They are both proxy groups of the Iranians, but they have specifically accused the Iranians of funneling weapons to the West Bank in order to fuel unrest there. Now, the Israelis have regularly accused the Iranians of fomenting unrest on their borders, but this looks like a very serious situation that is engulfing the entire border regions around Israel. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now, and the Cooperstown area looks a little different today, huh?
Yeah, we're looking at the camera the past few minutes, and we noticed something up in the tree line there. Let's take a zoom up shot of this right now so we can see it. It might be hard to see if you're far away from your TV screen, but you'll see a few branches of some changing colors, some yellows and maybe some oranges. So, of course, this is still far from peak fall colors, but a reminder that we're in the final days of August and September is right around the corner. Matter of fact, we're in the last final stretch this week. Next week starts September. And the radar right now, again, we were tracking some areas of patchy light drizzle early this morning. It seems to have tapered off for the most part, but again, radar signature is still a bit noisy. Can't rule out some light sprinkles in areas to the south right now. It's still cloudy. Sunshine to the north as a battle with high pressure and low pressure is going on in the atmosphere, but it does remain on the less humid side as we head throughout the remainder of the day today. Next 12 hours, 70s with mostly cloudy skies. We'll see the potential for a passing shower overnight tonight. and we might see a better shot for rain heading into Labor Day weekend. We'll talk about that in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A United flight heading from Cancun to Chicago. Rome's Board of Estimate and Contract will take up an unpleasant but necessary task. There's legislation now before them to give the mayor authorization to put out for bids for the demolition of the tornado-damaged former St. Mary's Church on West Liberty Street. The church was built way back in 1875. The mayor says because of the extensive tornado damage, it's now one of the most unsafe structures in the city, and that block can't be blocked off forever. He says with the building, though, does go a lot of history.
And several people, I mean, they were married there. They got their first communion there. Their families have been there for X amount of years. So it's devastating to see that has to come down.
Kabari Wellness owns the building, and the mayor says once the proposals come back and they have an idea of what it will cost to demolish the building, the city will continue to work with Kabari to make that happen. Still ahead, meteorologist Eric Gage will join us.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Started out in the low 60s, upper 50s this morning, and we'll still see warmer temperatures on the way, although it's not going to be as muggy as yesterday. 64 the temperature in Oneonta, even warmer in Old Forge, 70 degrees with sunshine. And there's a battle going on in the atmosphere right now. In fact, we're finally seeing blue skies once more in downtown Utica, 70 degrees. Still technically muggy, but dew points in the 50s are still a comfortable dew point average in August standards. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Again, we're dry for the most part. We saw some areas of light drizzle early this morning, and there are still some locations that are so close to the surface that it's very difficult for the radar to identify it. We can see some of these spots here and there, but again, the rain that would fall from some of these spotty showers, especially south, are not going to be that impactful. But the main question still looms: how is Labor Day going to shape up, or especially Labor Day weekend? Well, Saturday looking to be the rainiest of the weekend or Labor Day weekend days. Rain showers Saturday, temperatures in the 70s, upper 70s, sunshine, a lull in the rain during the daytime hours. And then a secondary cold front moves through Sunday night, and we're dry for Monday, although a little bit cooler. And here's that battle going on in the atmosphere right now. High pressure to the northeast, low pressure to the southwest. Central New York's right in the middle of that. And right now, high pressure is winning. Although it's bringing more clouds, the rain is almost entirely non-existent. However, as we head into the overnight hours, low pressure begins to win out, and we'll see clouds and maybe a few spotty showers overnight into early tomorrow morning. The more confident part of the forecast will be this cold front arriving, heading into early Saturday morning and then lingering throughout the day Saturday. This is our best shot for rain here locally. And so, on our Skycast, clouds this afternoon, still a bit stubborn. Tonight, lows falling down into the mid to low 60s. Then, by tomorrow, clouds, maybe some on and off sprinkles here and there. Same thing for the afternoon, although, again, mainly dry. Then we'll see clearing conditions, and then here comes some spotty on and off showers heading throughout the day Saturday. And so, again, rainiest day of the next 7 on Saturday. Then we'll see a cooling trend for Monday for Labor Day itself, and then following that, a quiet stretch of weather continuing to the middle of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Now back to our story. We had a little technical issue earlier.
With Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. All right, so we saw some sun and clouds today. Not a bad day out there, though.
Yeah, pretty comfortable to be outdoors. Temperatures in the 70s. We're going to see more days like this ahead. The clouds are going to be pretty stubborn here. This is a live look in downtown Utica, our CAPV Tower Cam. We're going to hold on to clouds here over the next couple of days. Occasional breaks of sunshine, but we are starting to get into that time of the year as summer comes to an unofficial end. A couple of sprinkles out there, especially south of the Mohawk Valley this evening. We've got a weak weather disturbance that's going to be lingering in our area, and it could give us a couple of very brief showers. 75 degrees is the current temperature. Again, much more comfortable. The dew point is down. It still feels a touch humid, but not like it did yesterday afternoon. Our weather headlines: clouds stick around. Widespread rain is expected on Saturday, and we are expecting to start off next week on a cooler note, a little early taste of fall weather as we head into early September, but we also have some very nice weather ahead too. This evening, mostly cloudy, a brief sprinkle is possible, temperatures in the 70s. I've got to look at the Labor Day weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. State DOT was digging in the village of Middleville this morning to find a source of an issue of water servicing on the road on Route 28. Today they found that residents were not expected to be without water, especially after they fixed the issue. Crews began about 7 o'clock, demolished as a result of the damage from the tornado last month. News Channel 2's Thomas Tellerino was back in Rome today and takes a look back at the history of this beautiful church.
St. Mary's Church is an iconic building in the city of Rome and was built over 150 years ago in 1872. But before the church was built on West Liberty Street, Rome's German Catholic population built a small church on the corner of South James Street in 1848.
In the 1840s, a large group of German Catholics started immigrating here to America, and here specifically in Rome found a community. By 1848, the congregation was strong enough to where they were able to build a wooden structure on James Street.
The congregation became too large for the current church, and eventually, Father Peter J. Smith decided to build a new one. After this was announced, a protest occurred where several people were arrested for assault and battery after they disapproved of the new church being built.
The congregation was quite large. It had almost doubled, tripled in size, and so the need for such a space was required. Some people, when they have to move a little bit further, along to get to church, it hits a little bit differently.
St. Mary's would be an independent church up until their merger with St. Peter's in 2007. They were always known as a huge part in Rome's German community since its existence. And even though they have been closed for almost 20 years, former members are sad to see the church torn down.
Knowing that it's not going to be part of the landscape anymore is really heartbreaking. It is, regardless of how it might have transformed under private ownership. I believe the building was always going to be there, and now it won't be. So it leaves a hole in the heart.
St. Mary's Church was a part of the historic landscape of the city of Rome and will always be remembered by the community. Reporting in Rome, Thomas Tellerino, News Channel 2.
The pool facilities at Mohawk Valley Community College will be receiving some.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking mostly cloudy skies across central New York. It is much more comfortable out there than the past couple of days. Some cooler weather in place, a temperature of 72 in downtown Utica, overcast skies. Clouds are going to be lingering around as we head into tomorrow, as well as the start of Labor Day weekend. Widespread rain on Saturday, 74. We could see a few rumbles of thunder Saturday afternoon. Sunday looks nice, partly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. Monday looks cooler, but dry. We've got a really nice, comfortable weather pattern as we head into next week, where temperatures a little bit below average, but still some nice weather ahead. A couple of sprinkles out there, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. We've got a disturbance in place that could give us a few more sprinkles tonight, tomorrow, but again, any showers are going to be very limited and don't expect to last for very long. Take a look at this beautiful photo. This is from Chuck Zebanewski, Bellamy Park in Rome. This was taken earlier this week. Some nice sunsets we've been getting lately. So you look at the bigger picture, we've got a disturbance to the south. You can see more scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic. This is going to basically stay in place. Not a lot of things change here weather-wise. We're going to look at overcast skies as we get into tonight. Temperatures drop into the low 60s. Might see a few sprinkles here and there, especially after midnight, but nothing that's going to last for very long. Friday, very similar to today. Mainly cloudy skies. There is a chance of a sprinkle, but again, not something that lasts for very long. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Friday night, cloudy skies. On Saturday, the rain becomes a lot more widespread and persistent. 8 o'clock in the morning, Temperatures start out in the mid-60s. Showers, thunderstorms as we head into Saturday afternoon. Not a complete washout, but pretty close, with high temperatures in the mid-70s. Tonight, brief shower, low of 62. Tomorrow, looking at overcast skies, a brief shower, pretty similar to today, maybe a few degrees cooler, with highs in the low 70s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Weather turns really nice as we head into next week. Sunshine Sunday, 79. A strong cold front arrives Sunday evening. We might see a few showers Sunday night. Labor Day looks cooler, 68. A little chilly Monday night, but perfect weather, really nice. Sunshine, highs in the 70s, really low humidity. What many of us like about fall, and yes, I know fall technically doesn't begin until September 22nd, but you know what? Meteorological fall starts September 1st. So
That's
there
right.
You go.
And it's a beautiful week next week.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Once we get into this weather pattern, we get away from the humidity, we'll have a dry stretch of weather here too.
Looks good. Thanks, Bill. Popularity continues to grow. Get you back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis in case you're heading to the fair tomorrow. Got some temperatures for you.
Yeah, the weather looks pretty good tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies. There could be a very brief sprinkle tomorrow, but I wouldn't cancel any outdoor plans. Not expecting it to last for very long. It's very comfortable if you're going to be walking around. This is the kind of weather to do it. Temperatures in the 70s expected tomorrow afternoon. Looking at the radar this evening, it is pretty quiet. We're noting a couple of sprinkles that are taking place, especially in and south of the Mohawk Valley. We'll see a few more of these tonight as well as tomorrow. Taking the dog out for a walk this evening, it is comfortable. Temperatures in the 70s, mostly cloudy skies. Tonight's featured dog, Belle, from St. Johnsville. And if you want to be a part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. We've got to look at the weather heading into the weekend coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Generation Z consumer.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A cloudy day across most of central New York. A little bit more sunshine north of the Mohawk Valley, but it's been generally overcast in the southern valleys. This is a live look in Oneonta, a temperature of 66 degrees. The weather remains cloudy as we head into Friday as well as Saturday. So we start out Labor Day weekend on a gloomy note with showers and maybe a rumble of thunder on Saturday. A temperature of 74 degrees. The weather looks nice on Sunday. High temperatures climb into the upper 70s. And then get ready. A taste of fall, at least early fall, for Monday. High temperature of 68 degrees, sunshine. We've got a really nice stretch of weather ahead as we head into early next week. But again, kind of gloomy out there this evening. Overcast skies, very comfortable. Temperatures in the 70s. A few sprinkles continue south of the Mohawk Valley this evening. The humidity is going to start to pick up again tomorrow, especially Saturday. But then as we see a cold front moving through, the humidity does drop in a pretty significant way. Overcast skies tonight as well as tomorrow. We got a very small chance of a sprinkle on Friday, so we're putting the MoCast as a maybe for Friday. Saturday is a no with widespread rain. If you are looking to get that lawn cut, Sunday looks to be an okay day. If you don't want to do it over the weekend or Monday, you do have a lot more opportunities early next week. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Temperatures from our Skywatchers, their neighbors. Bob and Clinton 72, Micah to Hartford also 72 degrees, Barneveld 73, Grays 76, Inlet 75, Mohawk 71. The clouds being thicker across the southern valleys make it cooler, 67 in Cooperstown as well as Worcester. The bigger picture shows a disturbance to our south will move northward. This weak area of low pressure will move north and bring us more clouds tomorrow, along with a couple of sprinkles. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. It stays cloudy throughout most of tomorrow. Very small chance of a sprinkle. Temperatures climb into the low 70s. Friday night, the weather stays mostly cloudy. On Saturday, we're going to have some rounds of rain moving in. One round in the morning and then another round in the afternoon. We could also see a few rumbles of thunder with high temperatures at the mid-70s. Tonight, a brief shower, low of 62. Tomorrow, cloudy skies. Again, another brief shower is possible, 73 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on Saturday, 74. Sunday looks nice, mostly sunny, 79 degrees. A beautiful stretch of weather early next week. It is cooler Labor Day as well as Tuesday. We're looking at high temperatures in the 70s on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be right back.
Will be torn down after the tornado last month caused too much damage to the building. The church is an iconic staple when it comes to the history of Rome and has stood on West Liberty Street for over 150 years.
It's also a place where people celebrated their lives. They celebrated baptisms, communions, weddings, funerals. It's a place ritualistically that they came every Sunday to celebrate one another and to share in their faith. So it's a huge part of the community.
Rome's German Catholic population started St. Mary's as a small wooden church on South James Street in 1842. They eventually had to move over to West Liberty Street due to them becoming too large. But it wasn't an easy transition, though. Many parishioners at the church protested the move, and several protesters were arrested for assault and battery.
The congregation was quite large. It had almost doubled, tripled in size, and so the need for such a space was required. Some people, when they have to move a little bit further, along to get to church, it hits a little bit differently.
St. Mary's would fully move to West Liberty Street in 1872 and was always a big part in the German population. For a long time, the masses were spoken in German. Even though the church closed and merged with St. Peter's in 2007, former members are still saddened to see their church be torn down.
Knowing that it's not going to be part of the landscape anymore is really heartbreaking. Thought about it just the other day driving through town, thinking of my dad. It's the last memory I have of being with him was in that church. So.
St. Mary's may be coming down, but their history will always play a significant role in the city of Rome. Reporting in Rome, Thomas Tellerino, News Channel 2.
Utica firefighters had to clean up quite a mess this morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A generally cloudy day across the area, but the weather is pretty comfortable, especially if you're trying to do outdoor chores. Live look in downtown Utica, a temperature of 71 degrees. Again, generally overcast skies. Labor Day, at least the Labor Day weekend, 2 of the 3 days look nice and dry. It's Saturday that looks wet. Widespread rain, maybe a rumble of thunder, high temperature of 74. Sunday looks dry and warm, highs close to 80 degrees. Monday looks a lot cooler with highs in the upper 60s. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Some sprinkles taking place, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. We will see the chance of a sprinkle or two as we head into tonight as well as early tomorrow, but the steadier rain looks to be on Saturday. This picture, Bellamy Park, taken earlier this week by Chuck Zibanewski. Beautiful shot there. The weather turns humid as we head into the next couple of days. Our next area of low pressure arrives on Saturday. The humidity increases, but it's temporary. It will cool down and become less humid as we head into early next week. Skywatchers, Whitesboro 73, Barneveld 73, Cassville, Helen with 70. Noticeably warmer to the north where there's been a little bit more sunshine. Old Forge 73, Ariken Inlet with 75. And cooler across the southern valleys with thicker cloud cover. Debon Hartwick 65 degrees, Stewart and Cooperstown 67. This disturbance, this weak area of low pressure is going to hang around as we head into Friday. So expect the clouds to stick around along with a very small chance of a passing shower. We'll see that tonight. Overnight lows in the low 60s. Clouds linger into tomorrow. Again, a very small chance of a shower. High temperatures in the low 70s. The weather remains mostly cloudy Friday night. Widespread steady rain is expected Saturday, and I think there'll be a couple of chances. One in the morning and then another round in the afternoon. This is the second round could produce some showers and thunderstorms as we get into Saturday afternoon. Brief shower tonight, low of 62. Sprinkle is possible tomorrow. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy and pretty comfortable day with high temperatures in the low 70s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms on Saturday, 74. Beautiful Sunday, 79. Cooler Labor Day. The unofficial start to fall will feel like it, at least early fall. Temperatures in the upper 60s. You might need a jacket Monday evening as we drop down into the 40s, but then it looks absolutely beautiful. Sunshine, dry weather why we love September. High temperatures in the 70s, overnight lows in the 40s.
Yeah, that's where it should be about this time of year.
That is about this where it should be. And again, some rain on Saturday, but then we're smooth sailing going forward.
It's gorgeous. All right,
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 206, we'll continue our twist. More than a year ago by U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer is finally online. It's in the parking lot. Just Bill Curtis. Gorgeous picture here of the sunflowers out in Mohawk.
These are 9 feet tall.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Jeff and Mohawk capturing this great picture. It is sunflower season. It is pretty neat to see this. We're looking at pretty nice weather. We won't see as much sun here over the next couple of days, thanks to a very stubborn weather pattern. A couple of sprinkles out there this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. They're mainly across the southern valleys. We've got an area of low pressure that's going to be pesky. It's going to be bringing us more clouds again tomorrow. 66 degrees is the current temperature out of Griffiths and Rome. It is a relatively mild night, and we don't cool off very much thanks to extensive cloud cover. Those clouds will be around tomorrow, but it looks pretty comfortable if you're heading to the New York State Fair. Temperatures look to be in the low 70s. Tonight, good night to open up the windows, cool off the house. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s, so a pretty comfortable night ahead. We're tracking the forecast heading into the weekend, and it's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Local elected officials met in front of the Whitesboro.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. A temperature of 65 degrees, cloudy skies. The weather on the cloudy side, it will be slightly unsettled as we head into Friday. We start the Labor Day weekend on a wet note. Saturday, showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, 74 for the high. Sunday looks a lot nicer. We're looking at highs in the upper 70s. On Monday, it looks cooler. Cold front arrives, and it's going to feel like early fall with high temperatures in the upper 60s. We're into the 40s Monday night. Radar and satellite image, I actually should say Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're tracking this area of showers across the Southern Valley, Chenango, Otsego County. These are moving to the east. We'll see a few more of them pop up as we head into tonight and tomorrow. The humidity starts to rise as we head into tomorrow. It'll be noticeably humid Saturday before the humidity starts to back off. We're looking at very low humidity heading into early next week. Best days to cut the lawn. Tomorrow, we're going to put this down as a maybe just because we have a few showers around. I think most of the day looks fine. Saturday is a no-go. Sunday looks better. If you don't want to do it this weekend, there will be opportunities next weekend, or I should say next week, with the weather drying out. The radar and satellite image shows low pressure to our south, producing clouds, and it's going to be very stubborn. It's going to linger in our area as we head into tomorrow, producing clouds and, again, maybe a sprinkle. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. Temperatures climb into the low 70s. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies. Will drop down into the upper 50s. On Saturday, that cold front approaches from the west, and it produces widespread showers and even a few rumbles of thunder. High temperatures climb into the low to mid 70s. Brief shower tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, a generally pleasant day. It's cloudy. There could be a brief shower, but temperatures will be comfortable. The humidity not too bad. Again, highs in the low 70s. It is humid and wet Saturday. Some rumbles of thunder possible. 74. Sunday looks dry, 79. Next week, the weather looks really nice. We've got a big area of high pressure that arrives. It brings plenty of sunshine. It's cool at night, chilly some nights, but nice and warm and comfortable during the days with highs in the 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be right back.
With Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Is it that time of year? Look at how big these sunflowers are.
Jeff and Mohawk sending this in. 9 feet tall.
Stop it. That's ridiculous.
That's amazing. Yeah, it is that time of the year. Wish we saw a little bit more sunshine today. Not going to be the case here tomorrow or Saturday, but looking ahead, we've got a really nice weather pattern. We just have a few days before we get there. A couple of sprinkles continue tonight, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We've got a weather system in place that's going to be really stubborn. It's going to give us more clouds tomorrow, along with some steadier, heavier rain as we head into Saturday. Current temperature 64 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. The cloud cover is keeping temperatures from falling as quickly as it normally would. As you look at the forecast, if you're heading to the New York State Fair, the weather looks pretty nice tomorrow, mostly cloudy, temperatures in the low 70s, comfortable to be going out and about. Tonight, good night to open up the windows, cool off the house. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. We're tracking the weather heading into the Labor Day weekend, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Local elected officials met in front of the Whitesboro Middle School. The damage to the former St. Mary's Church in the city of Rome, just too much. They're going to have to take it down. News Channel 2's Thomas Tellerino went back to Rome today and looked into the history of the church.
St. Mary's Church is an iconic building in the city of Rome and was built over 150 years ago in 1872. But before the church was built on West Liberty Street, Rome's German Catholic population built a small church on the corner of South James Street in 1848.
In the 1840s, a large group of German Catholics started immigrating here to America, and here specifically in Rome found a community. By 1848, the congregation was strong enough to where they were able to build a wooden structure on James Street.
The congregation became too large for the current church, and eventually, Father Peter J. Smith decided to build a new one. After this was announced, a protest occurred where several people were arrested for assault and battery after they disapproved of the new church being built.
The congregation was quite large. It had almost doubled, tripled in size, and so the need for such like a space was required. Some people, when they have to move a little bit further, along to get to church, it hits a little bit differently.
St. Mary's would be an independent church up until their merger with St. Peter's in 2007. They were always known as a huge part in Rome's German community since its existence, and even though they have been closed for almost 20 years, former members are sad to see the church torn down.
Knowing that it's not going to be part of the landscape anymore is really heartbreaking. It is, regardless of how it might have transformed under private ownership. I believe the building was always going to be there, and now it won't be. So it has leaves a hole in the heart.
St. Mary's Church was a part of the historic landscape of the city of Rome and will always be remembered by the community. Reporting in Rome, Thomas Tellerino, News Channel 2.
Several area fire.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica, a temperature of 64 degrees. Clouds have been pretty stubborn today, and they are not going anywhere. In fact, we're going to track some unsettled weather here as we start the Labor Day weekend, but it's not all doom and gloom. We're looking at a lot of sunshine here as we head into Sunday and Monday. Saturday, though, filled with clouds and showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder, especially in the afternoon. A very humid 74 degrees. Sunday looks nice, partly sunny, 79. Monday looks gorgeous, much cooler and a little taste of fall in the air, at least early fall. High temperature of 68 degrees. We're into the 40s on Monday night. We've got a stretch of beautiful weather ahead. But before we get there, we do have a couple of showers to note tonight. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. There's more rain to the south, but the rain is not going to quite make it here tomorrow. But the humidity will. The humidity will be building in the central New York over the next couple of days. Humid on Saturday, muggy Sunday. A cold front will arrive, and that's going to knock the humidity down. We've got a really nice weather pattern setting up for early next week. If you need to cut the lawn, Friday goes down as a maybe. Saturday a no with widespread rain. It does look more favorable on Sunday and beyond to get the lawn cut. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. A weak disturbance, a weak area of low pressure situated to our south today, bringing us plenty of cloud cover. That will be the case again tomorrow. And then Saturday, a weather system, low pressure moves in from the west, and that brings us widespread rain. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. A few sprinkles are possible. Overnight lows drop into the low 60s. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy. We could see a sprinkle in the morning, but a generally quiet afternoon. Temperatures climb into the low 70s. Tomorrow night, the weather remains mostly cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. On Saturday, a weak disturbance produces rain in the morning. A cold front produces thunderstorms in the afternoon. So it's a generally active day of weather. Saturday's high temperature climbing into the mid-70s. We could see some locally heavy rain with some downpours Saturday afternoon. Brief shower tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy, a shower possible in the morning, 73 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms Saturday, 74. Sunday looks nice. Sunshine, 79. Labor Day, sunny and cooler, 68 into the 40s. Monday night, sunshine and absolutely beautiful, crisp weather. It's crisp at night. During the day, pretty warm.
Hey, getting up to 79 on Thursday, 79 Sunday. We're not letting go just yet.
Yeah, a couple of summery days ahead.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, the pluses and minuses of buying